Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening. The executive session has concluded. Before we begin our regular meeting of the Atlanta Board of Education, we pause to really celebrate what matters most, our students. At each of our monthly meetings, we take pride in highlighting their gifts and talents, and tonight's performance reflects their remarkable excellence. We're honored to feature Continental Colony Elementary School chorus and drumming students led by Mr. Reginald Sanders. Please join us in welcoming them. Okay, let's give Continental Colony Elementary School chorus and drumming students one more hand. Thank you all so much. That was fabulous. During each board meeting, the Atlanta Board of Education takes a moment to recognize individuals or groups who are making a meaningful impact across our district. These recognitions are led by board members and reflect our commitment to celebrating advocacy, excellence, and service throughout the APS community. At this time, I will turn the floor over to Board Member Erica Mitchell for her recognition.
Good evening. On behalf of District 5 and the Atlanta Board of Education, it is my honor to recognize the Ludacris Foundation for 25 years of service and commitment to the Atlanta Public Schools families and students. Founded in 2001 by Chris Ludacris Bridges, this foundation has not only invested in financial resources into our community, but also poured in time, mentorship, innovation, and heart. For a quarter of a century, the Ludacris Foundation has stood as a true partner to the Atlanta Public Schools, empowering our young people and strengthening our families. Through its leadership and education initiative, the foundation has expanded across to STEM learning, robotics, coding, artificial intelligence, and entrepreneurship. Programs like Tech Tunes have creatively merged music and technology, allowing students to see themselves in a future-ready career. By partnering with institutions such as Georgia Institute for Technology, Georgia State University, and Microsoft, the foundation has helped build innovation pathways that prepare our scholars for post-secondary success. Through Luda Cares, the foundation has addressed the critical needs for our families, providing food distribution, back-to-school supplies, holiday meal programs, and emergency response support during times of crisis, including Hurricane Katrina and COVID-19 pandemic. These efforts ensure that when families are supported, students could remain the focus on learning. Additionally, their commitment of living healthy lifestyles have promoted physical wellness, mental health awareness, youth fitness initiative, and confidence-building programs. Supported by the whole child, not only the classroom learner. Thousands of Atlanta Public School students across elementary, middle, and high school have been impacted by this work. The Ludacris Foundation has helped cultivate leadership, resilience, creativity, and opportunity for generations of young people who now move forward with confidence, preparation, and purpose. Tonight, District 5 proudly recognized the Ludacris Foundation for 25 years of impact, partnership, dedication to Atlanta's youth. Your work strengthens our schools, uplift our families, and build the future leaders of our city. On behalf of the Atlanta Board of Education, thank you for your continued commitment to our scholars and community. Congratulations on 25 years of transformative services. At this time, I would like Ludacris' mother, Ms. Roberta Shields, and the Ludacris Foundation, please come forward to accept your recognition and also a little gift and a picture with the board. Thank you so much for all you do for Atlanta Public Schools families. And now we will see a video of all the work that the Ludacris Foundation have done for Atlanta Public Schools. Thank you.
From my foundation, the Ludacris Foundation, we want to get y'all some new uniforms, so I'm donating a check for $5,000.
My empowerment is letting our young girls know that they are enough, they are worthy. We're helping them build communication skills.
Yeah, we need more of this. I hope that a lot of people follow Luda's example and everybody who's a part of this example and put something into the world that's bigger than you and give back.
The Ludacris Foundation has brought inner city youth here to teach them about robotics today
and artificial intelligence, because all of this is the future. So I'm just trying to make sure I help facilitate their future. It's that simple.
You guys are the next leaders. You guys are the generational push that's going to take the music and the business and how we do things to the next level. He just wants to make sure that you guys are properly prepared for that.
Really helpful. And as far as the mastermind program, I'm honestly expecting like a lot, because it's my man Ludacris. He's the South legend out here, and I'm just expecting him just not only to help us thrive in the entertainment industry, but to help us grow as young adults.
It's been the same suit for the last 10 years. And just coming in here and going through this experience, it's a big thing for me.
I'm very grateful of the Ludacris Foundation for my dress because I love it.
The Ludacris Foundation continue to do good, give back, and make the future leaders of the world as confident and as well equipped with the tools that they need to move on in the future as possible.
Thank you to the Ludacris Foundation for their partnership and their impact on Atlanta Public Schools. This evening, I have several recognitions. We'll start off with students. There are, tonight, we're proud to celebrate some APS students that excelled in this year's District Technology and Innovation competition. There were nearly, So if you're here for the District Technology and Innovation competition, please come up to the front. We're going to grab a picture. There were nearly 350 students that presented more than 250 projects in robotics, programming, digital design, and multimedia production. We were especially proud that there are 67 students, many of whom are here with us this evening, that earned first place. All these did an amazing job, and they will advance to the Georgia State Technology Competition next month. Students, we congratulate you. Parents and guardians that are here, we congratulate you on this amazing, amazing accomplishment. And we're so thrilled to be able to recognize each of these super talented technologists tonight. How are you doing? Good. Things going well once. Thanks for your email, Sunday. Sign back on. Bradshaw on the team. Congratulations again. We also had some amazing student athletes. Okay. Yeah, we had some amazing student athletes we're going to recognize tonight. I don't think they're able to be here, but we will absolutely have an opportunity to celebrate with them. Some of whom are on clubs still doing this activity. So the Georgia High School Association Swim and Dive State Championship took place a couple of weeks ago, and we had several medalists and champions here from Atlanta Public Schools. Midtown High School, we want to recognize for their performance. They excelled in a multitude of areas. First place honors in the 200 medley relay to Avery Wells, Rael Derry, Sarah Paisley Owen, and Aaron Jones. Also first place I've got a few first place, so you may want to hold your 200 freestyle Paisley Owen, 100 butterfly, first place to Sarah Paisley Owen, 400 freestyle relay Avery Wells, Dabney Bond, Rael Derry, and Sarah Paisley Owen. And then second place winners in the 100 breaststroke, Rael Derry. In third place, bronze medalist, 50 freestyle, Alex Vinchiquera, and the 100 freestyle, Alex Vinchiquera. Overall, Midtown High School earned second place overall. And we'd also like to take a moment to recognize Mr. Frankie Martson of the Atlanta Swimming Club. I don't know, is Frankie here? Yes, please come up. Amazing partnership in hosting and coordinating all of our APS City Swimming Championships. Thank you for your collaboration with our coaches and staff, and we could not do the work without you. So thank you very much. Appreciate you being here tonight. All right. I'm sorry, we got a few tonight, but it's good celebrations. Is CJ and Kelly Stewart here? Come on up, please. CJ might be a little sore. I heard you ran a little marathon, just a little marathon just a little no such thing as a little marathon. So I guess we don't even have to recognize or get into all the details. Everybody knows Lead, but The Lead Center for Youth do an extraordinary job, and I'll come off strip. Had a chance last weekend to go to their, not last weekend, last week, to go to their State of Lead event. If you all don't know, Lead partners with Atlanta Public Schools in baseball for many of our elementary programs, as well as tennis. And they do an incredible job offering the access to the sport, but also the leadership really across the board and the character development. Had a chance last week to go to their State of Lead, and it's just so amazing to hear the impact that they've had over the years on what now are adults. So thank you all for your partnership. They have invested in 5,800 APS students, and in time and development, that's made it over $26 million invested in the youth here in Atlanta Public Schools. So we are incredibly appreciative. Also gonna have some little bit better surfaces to play on. So if it rains a couple hours before, you can still get the game in. So we're excited about that as well. So. I'm sorry. Are there social workers here? Come on up, social workers. So this is National Social Work Month, and we want to extend our gratitude to all of our social workers who support mental health of our students, their well-being and their stability. Thank you for your work. Your work ensures that our students are safe and well. And this is the last one, but it is a super important one. We're recognizing some paraprofessionals today. So it takes us all to make the work happen, and our paraprofessionals, our social workers, our bus drivers, custodians, everybody is so critical. This particular group of paraprofessionals that are coming up has served Atlanta Public Schools for 20 years or more. And so 31 years or more. So we're so appreciative of each of you and your service to Atlanta Public Schools. And as the school board goes back, what's coming up is National School Board Appreciation Week. And we're so appreciative of our amazing school board and their leadership and governance of our school district. So just want to say that as we get ready to transition back to normal meeting. Thank you.
We'll take it. Thank you so much, Dr. Let's go ahead and proceed, Mr. Wilborn, with the community meeting.
Yes, Madam Chair. Good evening and welcome to the public comment portion of tonight's agenda. In just a few moments, the board will begin hearing for those who signed up to speak by 5:50 p.m. The board welcomes your comments, but before we get started, please take note of the following guidelines on how public comment is conducted. The board has allocated 1 hour for public comment, and each speaker will only be allowed to speak once for a total of 2 minutes. The board may elect to hear community comments in any order or sequence and is not limited by the order of the sign-up sheets. All speakers presenting highly detailed information are asked to put their comments in writing, and comment cards are available for those wishing to do so. In order to maintain meeting decorum, follow appropriate protocols, protect the confidentiality of students, and ensure impartiality, the board will not hear comments on matters involving individual students, parents, or the character, professional competence, or the physical or mental health of any individual. Also, the board will not hear public comment on personnel matters that specifically include the names or titles of employees. This includes, but is not limited to, contract non-renewals, position abolishment, the hiring or firing of staff, and investigating proceedings regarding allegation of misconduct. Comments regarding personnel issues should be sent in writing to Atlanta Board of Education, 130 Trinity Avenue, Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30303, or via email at boardcomments@atlantapublicschools.us. Finally, in order to maintain meeting decorum and to ensure all comments can be heard by the board, applause, cheering, jeering, or speech that defames individuals or disrupts the meeting should be refrained from and may be cause for removal, adjournment of the meeting, and or suspension from attending future Atlanta Board of Education events, hearings, and meetings and other proceedings. With that said, I'd like to call the first 3 speakers to the podium. Mashlyn Henfield, Laquita Lewis, Marjorie Lofton, and Roy Ellison. Please come in that order.
Okay. I believe I was the third person name called, but no one got up before me. So, good evening, board and superintendent. I am Marjorie Lofton with FPSC. I come as one, I stand as many. This evening, I joined in saluting our paraprofessionals and our school social workers for the positive role they play in the education of our students. Last month, we honored our counselors and school resource officers. APS has committed staff showing up every day for our students, but too often they show up without the resources needed to be impactful. In APS, those resources are being swindled in a failed investment into KIPP's private charter schools. Recently, I read a news article about a cheating scandal at KIPP affecting APS students. The cheating was reportedly orchestrated at the highest level inside of KIPP and hurt our students. Where is the public outrage? Who is speaking up for the students? Who is protecting our students? This is not a simple oopsie. This would not be tolerated in other communities, and it should not be accepted in Black communities. And no, I am not framing this as a Black issue. 99% of those impacted are Black students. It is a Black issue. KIPP nor its twin sister Purpose Built should be allowed to exploit the Black community, rob APS of its monies, and continue to fail our students. Those before you may have broken it, but it's now yours to fix. Be well and do good.
Good evening, Superintendent and members of the board. I am Rory Ellison, the 2025 through 2026 Ralph Miller intern at the Georgia Federation of Public Service Employees and a junior at Maynard Jackson High School while also being a dual enrollment student at Atlanta Metropolitan State College. I come from a family of educators, and a significant part of my internship experience focused on public policy, public education, public service, and politics. I'm requesting that this board revise its policy to ensure that an actual APS student like myself serves as a student advisor on the board's policy committee. I was shocked to learn at the last meeting that the student advisor helping to shape APS's policy from a student perspective is in fact a KIPP student attending a KIPP school that operates under its own KIPP policies and has its own KIPP board. While this may be effective political maneuvering in some circles, it's poor public policy, harmful to public education, and an insult to actual APS students like me who attend our schools and trust in APS. I hope this board will support and honor your students and require those offering guidance and advice about the APS experience to actually have APS experience to share. I am not qualified to advise the KIPP board any more than the KIPP student isn't qualified to advise the APS board. This isn't controversial or complicated, it's just common sense. Thank you.
Madam Chair, this concludes public comment.
Mr. Wilburn. Sure, we'll go ahead and let you speak. You could, oh, wait. Is there some kind of confirmation email that comes in? So if you got a confirmation email, you can go ahead and come, if Keith, if you don't mind taking a look at that, and we'll verify those that got an email to go ahead and speak. Those that have a confirmation email, Keith is vetting in the crowd now. We'll go ahead and give you your 2 minutes to speak. There's some people there that have a confirmation email, and we're going to allow those individuals to speak at this time. I believe started. Mr. Nader, if you don't mind, if we'll definitely try to give you some time at the end, if you just give us a minute. Go ahead, Mr. Dingle. And if you could just state your name, since we don't have it for the record.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Dingle. I'm a constituent of School Board District 6. Of course, good evening, Superintendent, Chair, and Vice Chair, and the board. I watched the Budget Commission meeting last week, and I must say that is one of the most heartbreaking and devastating things I've seen in quite some time. I appreciate the questions Board Member Hutcherson and Mitchell asked regarding how do we get here? How do we get in this financial position and what I think we all would call a crisis? And CFO Dr. Bracken seemed to lead to several things that we can't help, like birth rate and people who choose to live and move out of Atlanta. But another thing was previous superintendents and previous boards. And those, dare I say, reckless decisions led us to this position where it seems like it's this board's responsibility to start the climb out of that hole. It's you all's job to basically save APS is what I heard from that commission board meeting. I'm not an expert on the business of education, but it seems like to be successful in the business of education, that's not synonymous with our students doing well. But I know if our students do well, then the business of education does well, and I hope we can flip that to the proper way. And lastly, I'll say I know not all board members were part of the board that voted to potentially close 16 schools, but that shows me that you all have the ability to make tough decisions. That tells me that you are willing to hurt some feelings if you feel like it's the best move. So with that, I hope we aren't afraid to make some tough decisions and hurt some feelings when it comes to our students getting the best education possible, which makes all of Atlanta a better place. But I appreciate your service. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you still allowing me to speak regardless of the technical issues, and I thank you.
Thank you. Please make sure you state your name.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Aaliyah Wright, and I am a member of LP Miles Elementary School, and I am here to say a speech for Ms. Baldwin and say how loving and caring she are. I have known Ms. Baldwin for 6 years, and in all that time, she has always been the same caring, loving, and kind person. Even when things are hard, Ms. Baldwin is always willing to help. Even when she doesn't have the power to fix everything, she still tries. She still listens, she still shows up, and that means so much. For 6 years, she has been someone people can count on. She doesn't just do her job, she goes above and beyond. She gives her time, her energy, and her heart to make sure others are okay. Ms. Baldwin, thank you for never giving up on people. Thank you for helping even when it's not easy. Thank you for caring even when you don't have to. You are truly a blessing to everyone around you, and I am grateful to have known you for 6 years. We appreciate you more than words can say. Love you, Ms. Baldwin.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jalea Corder, and I represent LP Miles Elementary School, and I am one of Ms. Baldwin cheerleaders, and this speech is for Ms. Baldwin. Today, I want to take a moment to honor someone truly special, someone whose kindness isn't loud but powerful, someone whose heart is so genuine that you feel it the moment they walk into the room. You are the kindness of person who listens without judging, helps without expecting anything in returns, and loves without limits. In a world where people can sometimes be selfish or distract, you choose to care. You choose to show up. You choose to make a difference in quiet, meaningful ways. Love you, Ms. Baldwin.
Good evening, school board. My name is Treasure Love, and I am a senior at Maynard Jackson High School, as well as a dual enrollment student with Atlanta Metropolitan State College. I will graduate soon, and I wish to give you the benefit of my experience as both an APS public school student and a so-called APS public school charter school student. I encourage you to invest in your APS schools and not use public funds to build others up to destroy public education. Schools like KIPP are great at exploiting fears, marketing, and stereotypes, but are terrible at educating students. They claim to represent the interests of Black students, but I looked at their board of directors, and they don't look like me, and they don't live in my community. Many come from a place of privilege with fancy titles. We don't need charity. We need a school board that believes in us and that invests in us. KIPP is more political than us, but then again, education is not supposed to be about the hookup or politics. Please do better by us and dump KIPP.
Good afternoon, school board. My name is Ebony Love, and I am the parent of a student in Atlanta Public Schools. I am here tonight to speak about nutrition within Atlanta Public Schools and why it matters for every student in this district. Food is not just fuel. It affects brain chemistry, it affects inflammation, it affects focus, mood, behavior, and long-term health outcomes. And because students spend 7 to 8 hours a day inside Atlanta Public Schools, what is placed on their trays directly impacts their ability to learn and perform. For years, school systems, including districts like Atlanta Public Schools, relied heavily on ultra-processed foods filled with preservatives, additives, excessive sodium, and synthetic stabilizers. These products were selected for shelf life, speed, convenience, and ease of large-scale preparation. But we now have extensive data showing that diets diets high in heavily processed foods and artificial additives are associated with increased inflammation, metabolic disorders, attention challenges, and long-term chronic health risks in children. We are seeing higher rates of childhood obesity, type 2 diabetes, anxiety, and behavior concerns. While nutrition is not the only factor, it is one of the most controllable factors within the authority of Atlanta Public Schools. Efficiency should never outweigh student health. For many APS students, school meals are their primary source of daily nutrition. That means what Atlanta Public Schools serves is shaping not just academic performance today, but long-term health trajectories for years to come. Georgia is an agricultural state. We have access to local poultry and produce. There is an opportunity for Atlanta Public Schools to invest in the equipment, training, and partnerships necessary to provide fresh, minimally processed, locally sourced meals instead of relying primarily on chemically preserved factory processed products. If Atlanta Public Schools expects excellence from its students, then Atlanta Public Schools must be willing to feed them excellence. Now that we know better, Atlanta Public Schools must do better. Thank you.
Good evening. How y'all? Good evening. How you doing? I'm the parent of London Higgins at Cleveland Avenue Elementary, and I'm here to thank Ms. Pace from for all she has done for me and my family. Just a situation that happened at the school. I had a concern about a teacher, and Ms. Pace sat and listened. She follow up with the situation. She even went in the class and checked on London and made sure everything was okay. Recognizing me, giving me gift cards. She's a fantastic person at the school, so I wouldn't trade her for no one else. Miss Pace. It's a lot more I could have said, but thank you.
Hi, my name is London Higgins, and this is for Miss Pace. She is the sweetest person I've ever met. She always helps you when you're sad, and she always does nice things for you. She is the best person ever that I could ever ask for, and I will never change my mind. I love Miss Pace so much.
I just have to say, you all are truly diabolical. I mean, the way you handle time, sign-ins, it's a suppression of public speech. And get on your job or not have one. Keith Glass, you all invite Continental Colony down here, one of the schools that you voted unanimously to close, 7-0. The children said, we will not be afraid. Overcoming Jim Crow. Here they are facing that in 2026, where you voted in December to close pretty much all the black schools on the list. Then you turn around in January and extend for 5 years a white school, predominantly white, Atlanta Neighborhood Charter, which has a student population of 394, but Continental Colony was at 368, 26 students more. Jim Crow. You know, when you do these types of things, you cause irreparable harm. School closures cause permanent educational, psychological, and community harm. Past closures produce no academic benefit or progress. Current district-wide data confirms the ongoing injury. You all claim it's 34% literacy for third grade graders. It's worse than that. Math, 8th graders. Instead of expanding educational opportunities, Jim Crow, like clockwork, you diminish it. You shut it down. Yeah, and there are people of color. I see people of color up there. They know nothing about what the Freedmen's Bureau did after slavery to level the playing field for black people coming out of one of the harshest conditions in this country, slavery. They built schools when the South was bankrupt. Here we are with cranes swinging everywhere, and you choose to close 16 schools on the beautiful children that came and sung their hearts out for you. There's a rally April the 2nd here, 4 o'clock. Thank you.
Madam Chair, this concludes public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Wilburn. Thank you to our community members for joining us this evening. We always appreciate your feedback and engagement. For stakeholders unable to attend our monthly meetings in person, the full board meeting is available on our YouTube channel, ABOE TV, which can be accessed through your district website. You can also reach out to your board members via Let's Talk. Our commitment is to provide accessible resources that encourage and support meaningful stakeholder engagement. I'm pleased to announce the board's external committee assignments through which members will serve in external organizations throughout our city. And when I call your name, if you don't mind just waving your hand so we can acknowledge you. For the Atlanta College and Career Academy Board of Directors, we have Ms. Katie Howard. For Atlanta Beltline Tax Allocation District Advisory Committee, we have board members Alfred Chevy Brooks and board member Tony Mitchell. For the Atlanta Beltline Board of Directors, we have board member Jennifer McDonald, and is not here today. For the Atlanta Beltline Affordable Housing Advisory Board, we have board members Alfred Chevy Brooks and Tony Mitchell. For the Atlanta Partners for Education, we have Dr. Ken Zeff. For the Atlanta Education Telecommunications Committee, we have Dr. Casey Brock. For the City of Atlanta, Atlanta Public Schools Joint Committee, we have Dr. Casey Brock and board member Alfred Chevy Brooks. For Council of Great City Schools, we have myself. For Council of Urban Boards of Education and the National School Board Association, we have Erica Mitchell. For Invest Atlanta, we have Dr. Ken Zeff. For the Literacy Council, we have Dr. Casey Brock. And so we want to thank all of our members for your willingness to serve in these important roles for the Board of Education.
All right, item 4.2 is report out from committees. This month we'll hear from board members Howard, Dr. Brock, and Brooks, who provide updates from the following committees: Budget Commission, Board Development, and Policy Review. Let's start with Policy Committee, Board Member Brooks.
Yes, I should turn my mic on. Thank you very much, Dr. Zeff. The Policy Review Committee met on February 19th. During the meeting, members reviewed proposed revisions to the following policies: EBB on safety, KM, visitors in schools. Both policies were to address pressing issues that we're seeing in our communities and nationally, and hoping that we can bring some peace of mind to some of our most vulnerable students and families. We also introduced policy on JB on student attendance, initiating some conversation to encourage civic engagement among our students, offering them up to 2 excused days off to vote, to visit a school board meeting, a city council meeting, county commission meeting, or to attend a civic action, and JBC on school admissions. The committee recommended that all 3 policies, EBB, JBC, and KM, waive first reading and move directly to final approval today. As a result, these items are included in today's full board agenda for final action. We will continue reviewing policy JB on school attendance at our next policy review committee. I also want to note that there are 2 accompanying piece of legislations being presented at the State House and the Senate and the House that echo the policy that we are leading with here in APS around civic engagement. Additionally, the committee discussed board regulation BBBA R4, board office financial procedures. Further discussion will continue to ensure that regulation is fully aligned with board responsibilities. The next policy review committee meeting is scheduled for March 19th. I'm hoping at 12:15 p.m., maybe 12 p.m. We will notice the meeting very soon for a final time, but the date is March 19th.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Board Member Brooks. Board Member Howard, budget update, budget committee update.
Yes, we met last week on Thursday, and we heard presentations from social work, APS Care, Student Support Services around the work they're doing and some initiatives they think have really had an impact. And what's very important during this point in time for this district, as we were talking about earlier tonight, is that we're really making sure that the work being done is having the most impact on student growth and student outcomes. We have a limited amount of resources. We are fortunate to have the resources that we do, but we know the pressures are great. People also deserve property tax relief. And we're not going to be getting more, and we've got to make sure we're really leveraging what we have to best serve students. So we had a really good conversation during Budget Commission about the realities of our district and the work that has been done to realize cost savings at the central office level and continual work that's done around finding efficiencies throughout the system, and of course the work that's being done with facilities master planning. More of it that we'll recognize as we shift funding as we move into the next couple of years, but we really have to focus in on the programming piece and how we make sure that we provide the most for students and it's having the most impact. So we're at the point where we're going to hear more coming out of school budgets, and where we are, we're looking potentially right now at a $50 million gap. And the next meeting will be April 16th at noon. We will not have a meeting in March. We will be getting presentations, so be looking in your inbox for that information to my Budget Commission colleagues, but of course to the entire board, because this is work of the entire board. This is one of our main responsibilities is to ensure the budget is tightly aligned with our priorities and our focus and best improving outcomes for students. So encourage the public to tune in on April 16th, and of course reach out to us with any questions in the meantime. Thank you.
Thank you. Great stuff happening at policy and budget. And Dr. Brock, board development update.
Yes, thank you. So at the board development meeting, we talked about the upcoming board retreat. This will be the first time that we're meeting with this configuration of the board, so very exciting. And then we also recentered on the committee goals. As many of you know, it's a newer committee, so just getting really firm on what role we'd like to play to ensure that the board is supported. And then also we talked about our community engagement strategy, and we have a little bit more work to do on that just to make sure that we're all representing not only our districts, but also making sure that we're meeting all members of the community all across the city, no matter what district we are in. A couple of next steps we have is figuring out the cadence of this new committee, how often we'll meet, when we'll meet, and so we're going to get together to determine that. And of course, you'll know about it. And then also doing a little bit more workshopping on the community engagement plan to make sure that we're meeting the needs of students, of parents, and of all constituents. That's all. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Brock. So there's not a meeting set yet. You're working.
We are working on it. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Item 4.3 is report out from conferences. Board member Mitchell, is there a report from a conference you recently attended?
Yes, I do have a report out for the National School Board Equity Symposium that was held in Washington, D.C. from February 1st to the 3rd. I had opportunity to attend this conference. This conference is a Advocates Institute for Equity. We advocate for educational policies in the K-12 environment, amplify voices and needs of marginalized communities, ensure the work, policy, and practices are in line. In the conference, I had the opportunity to sit in two very good sessions with keynote speaker Amanda Ripley, New York Times bestselling author and Washington Post contributor, and then also Dr. Joseph Allen, who's a professor at Harvard as well. I do also want to mention that serving on the Council of Urban Boards of Education, we are adding our student voice component, which allows student representatives from different districts across the United States to participate in a panel discussion with board members and superintendents across the nation to really hone in on what is important to them and to get their feedback, recommendations, concerns, and issues as we develop policies and resolutions for the National School Board Association. So that's my report out. Thank you.
Thank you.
This concludes our remarks. Dr. Johnson, we are ready to hear yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I need to apologize and go back. Mr. Greg Goodwin, would you stand up, please, and just stay standing. I'm going to talk about you for a minute in a good way. All right, we're very proud of Mr. Greg Goodwin, who's Executive Director of Athletics for Atlanta Public Schools. He was selected as the 2026 Congressional Pioneer Award recipient for Georgia's 4th Congressional District. This distinguished honor recognizes leaders whose service and commitment have made a lasting impact on their communities. Mr. Goodwin, we thank you for your work and your effort. 8 months in, you've hit the ground running. Athletics, you've done an amazing job, and we know that athletics is just a vehicle to impact students. So thank you for what you do. We're so thrilled that you're here. During work session, we had 3 presentations. One was around partnerships. The other was around impactful adults for every child. And then we had a financial update. Today is Read Across America Day, and so we hope that folks had a chance to participate in that. This is National Reading Month, and no more important thing than we can do to make sure that our students are literate, which I always want to be clear on the education of literature, because I think sometimes we zoom right across it. It's not just the ability to read, it's also speaking, listening, and the writing component. And for us as a school district, one of the things we really got a lot of opportunity to lean into is writing, making sure that our students can write really well. The 2nd through the 6th is School Breakfast Month, and then obviously we just concluded Black History Month recognition, but we know that the impact that blacks have made over the course of time is just bigger than a month, and so we appreciate and celebrate those that have come before us that have done amazing things. And in this month, Women's History Month, National Social Work Month, as well as Music in Our School Appreciation or Recognition Month. On Saturday, we had a great inaugural launch of Discover APS. Appreciate all the schools that participated in that at Frederick Douglass High School. One of our goals is to recruit students to our district. A lot of opportunity in that space, and we will continue to lean in. Madam Chair, that concludes my announcements.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Would you please present the consent agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm pleased to submit the consent agenda items numbered 5.1A through 5.4A for consideration. In these items, you'll find a couple of authorizations aligned to our focus areas of strengthening the instructional core, as well as expanded professional learning with Metro RESA. You'll also find operational authorizations to include facilities work, a new bus, and athletic apparel and equipment.
So is there a motion to approve consent agenda items 5.1A through 5.4A?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved by Board Member Brooks and seconded by Board Member Zeff. Ms. Barnett, please open the polls. Board Member Hutchinson.
Yes.
Thank you. And now we will move to discussion and actions. The following items will be discussed: our monthly budget adjustment, and approval of a revised budget for Build Smart capital projects to be funded from the proceeds from SPLOST 2022, and authorization to increase funds for facilities master planning services. Dr. Johnson, please present the items for discussion and action.
Yes, Madam Chair. Item 6.1, the APS Budget Department recommends a budgetary adjustment to the current FY26 budget to align spending to support district schools through leveraging a 1.193 Title I Part A carryover.
Is there a motion to approve the action item?
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been properly moved by Board Member Brooks and seconded by Board Member Brock. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Barnett, please open the polls. Dr. Johnson, you want to discuss item 6.2?
Absolutely. And I'll ask Mr. Dancer to come up as I'm beginning to talk. So on November 2nd, 2021, the voters of Fulton and DeKalb counties voted to extend the 1 cent special purpose local option sales tax for an additional 5 years, while current SPLOS receipts are coming in more than $2 million higher than budgeted projections per month. And APS is currently has $40 million that can be budgeted for projects. I want to provide some context, and I think it's important that we include this on discussion and actions. We've talked quite a bit about facilities and wanting to be good stewards and position the district for the future. As we start to think about the work, in addition to realizing $40 million in budgeted revenues, we're leveraging approximately $22 million from both closing out projects and transitioning funds from projects that would be impacted by the facility plan. These funds will be allocated and used to pay costs for projects in the referendum. So I want to turn to Dr. Adam Dancer, who will talk a little bit about the 22 SPLOS process and provide an update for the public, as well as give a peek into what we're looking to do to leverage these funds to work to move the work forward. Dr. Dancer.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Board Chair Johnson, Vice Chair Zeff, members of the board. Dr. Johnson, thank you. I look forward to spending a little time with you to provide an update on where we stand with eSPLOS 2022. Tonight, I'll share a budget update on SPLOS 22, review some of the projects that we have been doing or that we have done and are continuing to do, as well as preview some others on the horizon. This is in support of the board agenda item that Dr. Johnson just talked about. So just a quick way to ground us, I want to briefly share what is eSPLOS. The special purpose local option sales tax is a 1 penny sales tax that is put on, that is voted on by voters in a particular county. In our case, we're part of 2 different eSPLOS referendums, one for Fulton County and one for DeKalb County. The last one took place in the vote took place in 2021, so thus we're in eSPLOS 2022. Anyone who makes a purchase within a county is contributing that penny. It's not just the residents in a county, it's anybody who purchases something within the county. These investments are critical, and we're fortunate to have them for maintaining our schools and our programming. In particular, when we think about capital projects, construction and renovation, infrastructure, bus and vehicle replacement, technology, safety and security enhancements. I do want to state that one of the things that eSPLOS dollars cannot go towards are things like salary. So where are we as we're talking about eSPLOS 22? Again, as I just stated, we are in the 4th year of 2022's eSPLOS. It was voted upon and approved by voters in Fulton and DeKalb County in November of 2021. We're actually in another year where we'll be having a vote in November for eSPLOS 2027, and I'll touch on that a little bit down the line. Ultimately, the referendum was approved for up to $650.8 million. That was the projected max revenue. That was between the 2 counties. Here in APS, most of our funds are coming from Fulton County because that's where most of our students reside. Our past approach has been to budget to 80% of the max revenue, which is what we did back in 2021, which at that time was $520 million. As Dr. Johnson just referenced, the collections coming in are showing us not only realizing, but potentially exceeding the projected max revenue. And as you can see on the last set of bullet points on this slide, about once a year, there is a board agenda item coming to the in front of the board about some revised proposed budgets as things change and projects change or funding changes. That's what we're here for today. This next slide is one of the supporting documents that you've probably reviewed, and it just goes to show in that middle column, there was a consent agenda item back in June of 2025 about a proposed budget update. Today, we're looking at a requested action of this revised budget update. In that column, you'll notice some of the shifts in the appropriation, so some additional funding that's going into certain of those categories. And again, that is outlined in the supporting documentation, the specifics of those. This slide here is one actually during these APS Accelerates meetings. I'm utilizing this slide to speak to the community as we start getting information about SPLOST 27. But I think it's a good one to show just how eSPLOST dollars work. So when we began collecting those pennies back in 2022, that was fiscal year 23, so July 1st, 2022, we spent in that first particular fiscal year, the amount of money you see up here, I'm not going to read it, and you can see each year it's increasingly gone up. We're in the fourth year, and so thus far we've just been over $86 million spent, with another projected $12+ million through the rest of this particular fiscal year. I think it is important to note that with SPLOST dollars, these expenditures continue into fiscal year 27 and beyond, honestly, because you're paying things as projects are closing out in the years to come. This particular slide here is going to take that and break it down by program names. I'm just going to highlight a couple things here. On the left, these are the programs that we put monies towards. These are the capital types of projects that we're doing. As you can see, much of it is in construction and renovation. I'm going to review some of those projects shortly, as well as other infrastructure projects. This particular eSPLOST cycle, we've also done a lot in that construction, renovation, and infrastructure in the areas of athletics and safety and security when we talk about things like the field houses, the bleachers, as well as the security vestibules. So, what have we done and what are we doing? I think it's a good opportunity to share some of the projects that we've done and are continuing to do with our eSPLOST 22 dollars. Right now, we are, and these next three are actually in progress right now. We are with targeted completion of June of this year. South Atlanta High School, you have some renderings on your left-hand side and some actual photos on the right-hand side, including that middle one. That structure just went up last week as they're starting to really push forward to reaching that those renderings that you see on the left. These improvements include facade revitalization, security vestibule. They've reshaped where the administrative areas are. A whole counseling suite's been developed, roof replacement, locker room upgrades, a lot of things happening over at South Atlanta High School. I also want to highlight that South Atlanta, as well as Garden Hills, is an example of the move that we're trying to take with these larger scale construction and renovation projects where we're keeping kids in the building during this versus utilizing swing spaces where they're oftentimes not within their own neighborhoods. This is working well. It takes a lot of coordination between the construction company, our facilities team, and the school administration. Of course, there are some challenges, but it's been working well. We have Miles Elementary. First off, an example of using a swing space, because the students of Miles are actually over at the Connolly building near TAG. But this is another major renovation, full HVAC and roof replacement. These are actual pictures of what it looks like right now, replacing the floors, the ceiling tiles, installation of LED lighting, extra parking spots, all, again, happening right now with SPLOST 2022. Garden Hills, before a major infrastructure, I never thought I would think that pictures of HVAC were so cool looking until I took on this job about 8 months ago, because now I really have an appreciation for infrastructure. Sometimes we spend a lot of time looking at the things you can see, those improvements, but it's often the things behind the walls that make a difference in a school. When HVAC's not working, when the electric's not working, when low voltage systems like intercom systems are not working, it's hard to run schools. These are the types of things happening right now at Garden Hills, as well as other places. We, of course, have had some significant projects that are already completed. The addition of the gym, cafeteria renovation, additional parking, media center over at Henry Louis Hank Aaron New Beginnings Academy. We have Toomer Elementary, the before and after. That was a significant renovation. You can see, again, I want to highlight here and other places our shift in lighting, especially that LED lighting you're starting to see in schools. It makes a big difference, not only from energy savings, but also the look and feel of the space. Cascade Elementary, a major infrastructure project, full HVAC replacement, interior refresh, electrical updates, LED lighting, paint, makes a world of difference. FL Stanton, a significant renovation that we did under this eSplost, which we've spoken about before. A beautiful renovation for sure. So I took time, I wanted to show you like when we're talking about major construction, renovation, infrastructure projects, this includes security vestibules, bleachers, the types of things I showed you, and some of the things I will show you. I wanted to show you where they are happening. So again, this is not all eSplost expenditures, just those areas. These are completed projects throughout our district. These are upcoming projects, things actually in the works right now, as well as continuing over the course of the next year. And here is just a map to show those both combined. Again, as you can see, these projects are happening throughout all of the different feeder patterns throughout the district. I do want to dive in a little bit more on examples of infrastructure improvements that may not be those large-scale things that you saw, but where eSplost dollars are actually being spent right now to make schools and students in a better place. Things like bathroom upgrades. Just this year, we did a significant bathroom refresh at Thurl High School, all new partitions, seats, epoxy floor, paint on the walls. One of the first buildings I walked into when I took this role, and what they look like now and what they look like then, it's a world of difference. You can see pictures of the roofing. That's Young Middle School at the top. Again, it might not seem like a big deal, but when there's leaking and moisture and issues like that, you can't see it when you pass it, but they're significant. And we have a lot of these types of needs throughout the district. One I'm really excited about is on the right. This is a map of the red dots are showing you all of the elementary schools. We're using eSplost funding right now to install permanent basketball hoops in their gyms. Right now, they're relying on the portable basketball hoops. The green dots there are where those already exist permanent, but we're expanding that to all of the schools in red currently. Athletics, I just mentioned the bleacher projects. We've completed 6 schools to date. Those are listed at the top there. There's some before and after, Best CSK as well as Thurl. This was a project that was designed to put about seating for 1,000 students at each of the high schools. We have 3 remaining that are on, targeted completion date is November. That's at Carver, Douglas, and South Atlanta, and then we will have covered all of the schools. Midtown is not there because Midtown has Walden Stadium, so the decision to put bleachers there was to not do that, and that was a collaborative decision with the school as well. In addition, eSplost dollars are doing the field and turf and track replacements. So Best CSK, Carver, Douglas, Henderson, and South Atlanta are all on deck for their tracks and their football fields to be redone. This is, again, a cycle that we try to utilize these funds for. Arts, we're proud that we took the previous group who planned the SPLOST, put some funding towards supporting the refresh of several theaters in our high schools. Douglas, Mays, South Atlanta, Washington, Best CSK all had stage lighting, house lighting improvements, soundboards, and curtains. As a former high school principal, that space and theater auditorium is heavily used, so having those types of upgrades is essential and something we're continuing to look at as we plan forward with future SPLOSTs, should those pass. Security vestibules, just want to bring us back here. We've completed 52 to date, and this was a 3-phased approach, so we are in the 3rd phase. The funds that we are, the cost of phase 3, quite honestly, is higher than originally anticipated. There's been, since 2021, when this was first voted on and this plan approved, you can imagine, because we're all living in this world. The cost of things has gone up significantly, construction in particular. Also, looking at what we've learned from previous phases in these schools that are left, some of these that seem simpler to start with maybe have a little bit more complexity. The security vestibule installation is really about, number one, ballistic film on the windows in that area, but it's really about controlling access points, both getting into the building and then leaving that vestibule or main office to get into the hallway. We have another big one under this SPLOST was the APS Student and Family Support Hub. I wanted to highlight that. The Northwest Transportation Center, that was constructed under this eSPLOST, fully from what you see before, which was just a construction site, to now it's a fully operating bus depot that is essential to us serving our Douglas and North Atlanta feeder patterns for sure. It's a beautiful facility. If you haven't been there, you should definitely check that out. SPLOST dollars, when we talk about SPLOST funding, obviously we want those funds to touch every school in some way. Supporting our yellow fleet, our school buses, replacing is a big part of that. We've purchased 67 school buses. That's what we call our yellow fleet. 24 white fleet vehicles. Those are your police vehicles, as well as like your facilities, vans and trucks and things like that. Demolition, this was referenced earlier, and I think I've referenced this earlier a few times, but we are actively trying to make good on some things that we didn't do so well in the past, sorry. We're trying to do better in the future. That includes demoing buildings that, quite honestly, are beyond saving at this point. They've been sitting for a long time. They're in varying states of disrepair. What you're looking at A.D. Williams Elementary School, it's actually in progress. Actually, the demo is completed. They're in the cleanup phase of it right now. And we're looking to do that at 5 more spots, again, at places where the buildings, they're not a good look in the community at this point. We're still wanting to repurpose the space in some way, but we're trying to make right with that building that is no longer functional and certainly does not look good. Brings about a lot of challenges. Technology is probably it's an area where you really see those dollars hitting every kid. All schools have had funds that have been used to purchase student devices, staff devices, interactive panels, as well as, again, back to my infrastructure word, the wireless infrastructure. None of those devices really are worth anything if you don't have the wireless infrastructure to connect to the internet. And so that funding has gone there. So what's next? As we said in this, as we look at this proposed revised budget, as well as realizing additional funds, because the pennies are coming in at a higher level. Again, still below the referendum number, but still higher. We have several projects that are all within the confines of the referendum. On the left side, you'll see the design, our goal. These are things that are clearly spoken about in the facilities plan. The renovation at Booker T. Washington, renovation of the planetarium auditorium space at Harper Archer, the additions at King, Jackson, Midtown, the new elementary school at the A.D. Williams site, Sarah Smith Elementary School, the School of the Arts at Carver. These are all design. The goal here is working with architects to get those designs done so that if and when the SPLOST 27 passes, we can explore getting shovels in the ground faster to get the projects as prioritized in the planning process I'm about to talk about done. I do want to mention, since design is up there, that the design process eventually involves a design review committee that includes participation from multiple stakeholders within that school community, including the principal, GO team, and other members. So it's not just a facilities design, it actually takes, we have a whole system for that. Construction and renovation at the bottom, this is our efforts to consolidate some of our district spaces. The move to Turning Cohen after Wesley departs the space in May, June into a teacher learning academy. A meeting space, and that's one of the things. Obviously, parking is one of the areas we need to increase there, but there are plans and ways to do that. The renovation of Sylvan Hills Middle School to support the combined Perkerson and Finch schools. The demos that I just talked about. There are multiple infrastructure projects, but 4 big ones, kind of higher dollar ones that we're looking to get done. And again, there's 3 of them that will be 2-phased, to be honest with you. But because of the cost and the amount of funds remaining, we'll probably have to split that into the second, into SPLOST 27. But this is much needed improvements based on FCA scores of the HVAC systems at Heritage, Hollis, and Parkside. And this would allow us to get about 70% of the work done, which would do go a long way to dealing with some of the HVAC moisture issues we're experiencing in those schools, as well as Mary Lynn, which is an older building that is dealing with a lot of significant water issues around the foundation. So that's the building envelope. I mentioned the funding to the increases in the security vestibules. That is an essential piece. And then the ability to shift some funds that were originally budgeted in the general fund to SPLOST for ERP, for funding at least part of what's remaining with the ERP process. All right, so then what? Listen, SPLOST is part of capital planning. Capital planning is not just like a 5-year viewpoint. You got to look beyond that. Right now, what we're doing is we are in the process of figuring out the projects that we can do with SPLOST $22 in preparation for what we hope becomes SPLOST $27. And again, showing you those projects that I just showed you to get us prepared to get shovels in the ground faster. We are currently developing SPLOST 27 plan. Community engagement's actually already started there with the APS, the Accelerate APS series. I'm going to be a cluster advisory team on Wednesday, trying to get input from the community about SPLOST 27. We'll be presenting a proposal to you all soon. All while this is happening, starting in April through October, as previously shared and outlined to the board, we are also looking at the non-SPLOST dependent redistricting process. So the schools that will be repurposed in that SY 27-28 school year. In June, we're hoping that the board adopts the eSPLOST 27 referendum. Again, that's with Fulton and DeKalb County, and a call for a vote. We'll advertise our SPLOST plan to the public throughout July through October on the website. The eSPLOST vote on that referendum is in November. And then also in November and December is when the first and second reads of the non-SPLOST dependent redistricting will occur. Just to clarify, there are some projects in the facilities plan that were SPLOST dependent. For example, the new elementary school at A.D. Williams, some of the additions to some of the schools. These, obviously, we can't get ahead of the vote, right? We were going to plan, but we also know that we got to make sure that we can't get ahead of that. So that's where we're at. I'll pause there for any questions.
Thank you. Let me just get a clarifying. Nina, do I need to do the call to, I need to do the motion first, correct, before we discuss?
Motion second and then discussion.
Is there a motion to approve the action item?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved by Board Member Zeff and seconded by Board Member Mitchell. Any discussion? Okay, I'll start down here with Board Member Brooks.
Thank you. Just have some curiosity around the ERP. This was a very big spend item that we approved maybe 2 years ago. Was curious as to how much, well, first off, what is the total price tag on it now? Because as it was, I believe we were at 45 million, something like that when it first came up. So curious as to where it lives now. How much of the ERP investment is going to be coming from SPLOST as opposed to our general revenue budget that we work with? And yeah, that was my first question.
Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna defer to Aaliyah on the ERP, and then anything I can fill in after.
I think to date, I don't have the exact number, but we're right around 22 million. So we've come in way under what was originally projected. Additionally, for the remaining year, we only have 1 year left, which is next year. We have 8 million that we're getting from SPLOST, and that should end our entire investment for the ERP. So we should be right under 30 million.
Is there a world that we can get some type of report out as to what the benefit or the value add of that investment has been to date, as well as what we have to look forward to? Please.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not the best person to speak to SPLOST, so Lisa, you better come on up, because I will tell you, I've served the private sector for a little while. They implemented Oracle, and I cut Oracle from the budget because the organization, again, I want to be really honest, these are all decisions that we collectively made. And so,
Or you got here, I should add.
But we made them. I'm here.
Okay.
We made them. Okay. And so we made them. The challenge with these types of projects is they cost. What I was having, I led a tech org that wanted to implement Oracle. The challenge is you're trying to run your day-to-day while still implementing. And so it causes back jams and log jams. So I'm watching our organization, I'm watching our school district try to run our day-to-day, and we've got folks that I know are working 16 hours, they're trying to run regular payroll and run something new all at the same time. We didn't staff up for it. The organization did not staff up for it, which many times when you implement Oracle, you actually staff up for a new implementation, and they're muscling through and figuring it out. So first off, kudos to the folks that are doing that. But let's be clear, we're in a fragile state financially, and that's the worry that I continue to have. So please talk about the advantages.
Absolutely. One advantage, and I'll just give us, I'll remind us that the last Budget Commission meeting, not the March one, but the February one, we did give an update on the progress of SPLOST, and at that of the ERP. And at that meeting, we did do more of the financial analysis and the pros and cons of the implementation. So far, we are on time and under budget. One of those big cuts was to remove those backfills, and so our team is doing double duty right now. But we're on pace for a go live of July 1st for our financials, and so what that means is for next year, we'll be able to roll off some systems that we've had to use over the last few years. So just for my department alone, I have the ERP system, Lawson, but I also have 2 different software systems in procurement. I have a separate system for payroll. I have a separate system for budget, a separate system for travel. How much is it? 11 total, where there are things that our very ancient current ERP cannot do. And so what we've been doing is Band-Aiding and bubble gumming all these other systems on to try to get our work done. And if you've been on audit committee in the last 10 years, you've heard the risks of that, right? Or where we are still doing a lot of manual work. And so the system is absolutely needed, and we're doing what we can to get it in place. And I know that our team is willing to sacrifice to get tools that help them do their job better. And so, that's kind of where we are from the administrative side.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bracken, for the explanation. My only ask is if we could just quantify, like, what is the licensure spend on each one of those 11 different programs that you're using, and ultimately, what is the value add in savings and efficiencies, all of those things. It just with such a major spend, and albeit we're getting to the end of the road of it, kind of got through the air quote major pain of it all. I would love to be able to just speak articulately for those who might ask, this is what we gave up, this is what we got, and this is why it was good for us to make that decision. So I would appreciate that.
Our team can work on that with Leah.
Just one thing I want to mention is it's just like teaching and learning. You can have whatever fragmented systems, which we have, which aren't good, or a singular system, which is fine. We got to have bookkeepers in every school, right? Like, so we can have Oracle, but we don't mandate bookkeepers because our system is so some of what we've allowed over time, right? But you can't even train everybody in the same way because you don't have, so to me, a bookkeeper is more important than Oracle. We got to get back to just like the common sense blocking it. I'm talking to my team as I'm talking to myself. I'm just being real. We gotta have enough courage to look folks in the eye and say, you need to have a bookkeeper. You are going to have a bookkeeper. And that's why when I first started, that was one of the first things I heard. Like, we were training a business manager on one campus and a bookkeeper on another, and then somebody else on the other. So you don't have any system control absent whatever system we put in. You know what I mean? And so some of the flexibility that we've allowed, that we've got to harness back because we know better and we should be doing better.
Board Member Brock, and then I'll come back down.
Very quick, just want to make sure I'm on record saying this. I heard this insinuated in what you were saying, but just wanted to, so I see the projects that are coming up, and I know that we're voting on those, but just thinking about 2027 and making sure we have equitable input from all communities as we're thinking about the spending for the 2027 money. I just feel like, especially with all the decisions that were made last year, it's like really, really important that we're making sure that everybody has a clear understanding on what this money is, what it does, what it's for, what it's not for, and that they have like a voice and a stake in this. Because even looking at this today, I'm like, whew, it's confusing, right? I get it, but wow, it's a lot. You know, and I think we did a lot to go out to the community to talk about, you know, the plan moving forward, but just as much energy and effort, I hope, will be put into making sure that we do right by people with the 2027 spending.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board Member Hutchinson.
Thank you. Dr. Dancer, which committee did you present this information to?
This information?
Yes.
No committee.
You presented it to all of us at one time?
Yes.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
I was wondering if maybe I had missed something.
Nope.
Thank you so much. Now, what does ERP stand for?
See, that is not my area of expertise. Now, HVAC, and I can answer that, but no. What is it? Enterprise Resource Planning System.
Yes, I Googled it, but I still don't know.
Go ahead.
So we did present at the audit committee around the ERP system, and what it does is it modernizes.
I'm sorry, you said you at the audit committee?
No, budget commission, I'm sorry, we presented at budget commission last month. Yeah. No.
Okay, was there a follow-up question that you have?
I'm sorry, did you say what it was?
Yeah, so it is a system that it modernizes our finances and HR system. So it's really a software program that comes in and it does accounts payable, it does our hiring, it does
This is the
our
ERP?
procurement. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay,
So
I
it's
remember.
you
The
remember?
AI
You kind of remember?
that goes into payroll and
Does
looks.
payroll, budget,
Okay.
and HR. So it does a lot of different systems
Okay.
in one.
And what are we talking about it for tonight with eSplast?
We are now shifting some of our SPLOST funding over to the ERP funding. It was coming out of general funds to start, but now we're moving it into SPLOST funding.
Let's be real clear so the public understand we ain't got nothing to hide this regard. So there was about $40 million budgeted for Oracle in FY20, well, I guess talked about in 24, decided on in FY25, right? So in the general fund, okay, so in the general fund, all in the same year, that, anyways, I hear my daddy saying, thank you, Holy Spirit. All in the same time, in the same year. All right? All right. And so now what we're trying to do, you're asking the right question, Boardman Hutchinson. Now what we're trying to do is move some of this into the SPLOST because we've got too much pressure on our general purpose budget. We have created so much pressure because of our collective decisions on our general purpose budget that now we're trying to move it into the SPLOST, which allows us to free up a little bit more cushion within our general purpose budget. Now, let's say this. One of the contextual examples is like the governors in the state said, I'm going to give, was it $2,000 to all employees, right? Well, in order to pull that off across the board, if the board so decided to do that for staff, it would cost about $7.5 million. And so, in effect, right, like you're adding more to your general fund to be able to give everybody $2,000. So we can take this, which isn't, you can't put any salaries into SPLOST, but you can move something in to your SPLOST in order to move something. I hadn't said anything illegal, have I? Okay, I'm looking at the corner of my eye, I saw you look up. So we are gonna pay Peter and Paul. We're gonna pay Peter and Paul.
Yeah, and I want to say thank you. As I know you wanted to say something, Dr. Bracken, but before you start, my question to you was, how did we get here? Mm-hmm. How do we fix it? And how do we avoid this in the future? And it sounds like we're on that track now because of what you're doing. So I want to say thank you to our superintendent for helping us to get to this point that we should have never been in the first place. Mm-hmm. The SPLOST dollars that are going to the tracks, because I remember Coach Goodwin said something about that it was unprecedented that we're able to bring money to our tracks. Dr. Johnson, is that the eSPLOST that we were using to, because he was like, this is wonderful, you're fixing the facility. Is that what we're using?
Yes. For our track and field?
Yes.
Yes, we have been using eSPLOST money to resurface our tracks as well as the turf fields for many years now. That's a part of an ongoing cycle that we have, so yes.
And finally, as I finish with this, and I want to say thank you so much to everyone for sharing this information ongoing. We have to do better. Like Dr. Johnson is saying, I cannot understand how in the world, as a public educator, we don't have bookkeepers in every school. That is eye-opening for me because everything that we spend in the school goes to that bookkeeper. We have to have guardrails in place so we're not in this space again. And whatever we have to do to get there, let's do it. I love when you present and all of us get to hear it at the same time because I was upset for a minute, like, am I not getting this information? But I'm getting it the same way our constituents are getting it, and that's the way it should be. So thank you. And thank you, Dr. Johnson, for presenting it as such. This is exactly what we've been asking for. Fix it, and how can we stop it from the future? Bookkeepers. That's just common sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Hutchinson. So first of all, I just want to highlight District 5 Planetarium. Now, 6 years prior to me being elected and being sworn in 2018, the first thing I heard was the District 5 Planetarium, Harper Archer Planetarium. And my God, can I say God today? Because the advocacy from our late Mary Palmer and also current advocate Sherry Williams, all the phone calls, all the emails, all the letters of support, videos, tours of different planetariums, all their hard work of advocating for this planetarium over a decade or so. And today I can see that hard work didn't go into vain because we are at a place now where we are considering the planetarium as additional project for Atlanta Public Schools. And this is the gateway to open up our children, our students' experience through the planetarium with all the amenities that it offers. I can list a whole bunch of them, but for the sake of time, I do want to thank this administration and Dr. Johnson for listening to me, my constituents, that we're at a place now that we can have a conversation about reimagining, redesigning the planetarium at Harper Archer, and consideration in the SPLOS. So thank you very much. That's all I have to say. And I'm ready to go.
Thank you, Board Member Zeff. Sorry.
Thank you, thank you, Dr. Danzer, for that presentation. For those of you that are watching from home, and even the people in the room at 7:30 and counting, thank you. We could not provide the district the services to our students without SPLOST. The security upgrades, the bathrooms, HVAC, fields, buses, technology, all the construction that's done. It would be impossible. It would be impossible. Cop cars. I mean, you go down the list, and you could do another presentation of all the value it provides. It's just a penny. I know it just sounds like it's not a lot. It's just a penny on everything you buy. But when people come for FIFA, we get the money for SPLOST. So
thank you, Dr.
So thank you.
Hey, we're rolling.
Awesome. I was waiting for more. Thank you. Like, I see a plan here. I see change. My frustration around eSPLOS has been, I didn't understand the previous list. I didn't understand the priorities. I'm not saying that kids didn't deserve those improvements in their schools, but I didn't see how that aligned with what we're trying to develop further. And clearly with facilities master planning and what we approved, and I know we have not approved the next phase for 2027, but already seeing the movement, to me, is the commitment to the community that we're making change around our priorities. Washington and Carver. And seeing the design only, I know it's not the actual construction, but I think that speaks volume for how we're moving in the right direction. And just how we continue to support that work. I hear you, Board Member Brock, around making sure that we're communicating that out to the community and they understand and they're providing their feedback around our priorities. So thank you so much for the work that's already been done. Really looking forward to how we move forward in this space. And we owe it to the taxpayers, the voters, certainly the students. And I hope that Washington students hear this right now, because we know we got a lot of feedback about upgrades that are needed at Washington. And looking at the expansion at Carver that will be a district-wide option. So thank you for all the work in this space. And I know we talked a lot about ERP tonight, and I appreciate Dr. Johnson being realistic about the situation. I'm so glad we're shifting so that we can fund it through eSPLOS, which is an appropriate place to do it. I will send back out the presentation that was shared at budget to make sure people have that and continue to ask questions, because we do need to be very transparent about that very big investment that we absolutely need to see results from. So thank you.
Thank you. So all of my colleagues for the discussion tonight, I will close us out and say that I am definitely appreciative that a lot of the upgrades and infrastructure work is happening on the south side of town, and we look forward to the next phases and iterations of our SPLOS work. Ms. Barnett, will you please open the polls? It's a yes for me, and it didn't pop up.
Apologies, I got signed out. I'm voting yes.
One of the hazards of a late board meeting. Item 7.1 is the resolutions, National School, first resolution, we have a few resolutions. National School Social Work Month. This resolution, we were fortunate to honor, Dr. Johnson honored our social workers earlier. The resolution recognizes Professional Social Work Month as a time to honor the vital work of school social workers across our district. This year's theme, Social Workers, Uplift, Defend, Transform, reflects the powerful role social workers play in supporting students and families as they navigate complex challenges, including mental health needs, economic hardship, housing instability, and other barriers to success. School social workers are trusted advocates and essential members of our school communities. They help foster safe and supportive learning environments, serve as bridge between home, school, and community, respond in times of crisis, and connect students and families to critical resources. As we observe Professional School Social Work Month and recognize March 1st through 7th, 2026 as National School Social Work Week, the Atlanta Board of Education proudly honors their dedication, compassion, and unwavering commitment to the well-being and success of our students.
Dr. Zeff, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it has been properly moved by Board Member Howard and second by Board Member Brock. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Barnett, please open the polls. I said yes for me.
Our next resolution is honoring Women's History Month, and for that, I've asked Board Member Katie Howard to offer the resolution.
You're welcome, Dr. Zeff. Happy to. Women's History Month in recognition, this resolution recognizes Women's History Month as a time to celebrate the significant contributions and achievements of women across all sectors of society. The history of women's struggles and accomplishments serves as a powerful reminder of the progress made and the work that remains toward achieving gender equity. Observing this month provides an opportunity to educate and inspire future generations about the lasting impact of women in leadership, innovation, and advocacy. Through this resolution, we affirm our commitment to advancing gender equity, uplifting women's voices, equality, uplifting women's voices, and supporting efforts that remove barriers and promote opportunity for women and girls in our schools and throughout our community. As we observe Women's History Month, the Atlanta Board of Education proudly honors the women, past and present, whose leadership, courage, and resilience continue to shape our schools, our city, and our nation.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved by Board Member Howard and seconded by Board Member Mitchell. Any discussion? Ms. Barnett, please open the polls.
Our final resolution tonight is Youth Art Month. This resolution recognizes Youth Art Month and affirms the important role arts education plays in developing creativity, problem solving, and critical thinking skills that contribute to students' academic success and lifelong achievement. Through visual art, music, dance, and theater, students deepen their engagement, express themselves with schools in our community.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
So moved.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Board Member Mitchell and seconded by Board Member Brock. Any discussion? Ms. Barnett, please open the polls. Thank you. Madam General Counsel, does the board need to report out from the executive session?
Yes, Madam Chair, the board needs to take action on one item. In Student Appeal 2026-02, I request a motion that the Atlanta Board of Education accept the hearing officer's findings of fact and modify the recommendations as discussed in executive session.
Thank you. In Student Appeal 2026-02, may I have a motion that the Atlanta Board of Education accept the hearing officer's findings of fact and modify the recommendations as discussed in executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It has been properly moved by Board Member Brooks and seconded by Board Member Mitchell. Maybe, Ms. Barnett, will you open up the polls? Sure. Gonna do a voice.
Katie Howard,
Yes.
Tony Mitchell,
Yes.
Dr. Ken Zeff,
Yes.
Erica Mitchell,
Yes.
Patrice Hutcherson,
Yes.
Alfred Shibby Brooks,
Yes.
Dr. Casey Brock,
Yes.
and Miss Jessica Johnson.
Yes.
Item 9 is information. The information items, 9.1 is the board travel report. The board travel report is a monthly report that details district-funded travel for board members and the board office, including a year-to-date total spending. 9.2 is the detailed financial report, which is a monthly report that details the revenue and expenditures of the Consolidation General Fund. 9.3 is the special revenue report, which is a monthly report on grant budget adjustments and amended budgets. And 9.4 is the construction status report, is a monthly report on active construction projects that are primarily funded by the voter-approved special purpose local option sales tax, or SPLOST.
Each of these reports can be found under the Information tab in Assembly.
We'd like to thank you for your participation, engagement, and support of Atlanta Public Schools. We look forward to engaging with you at our upcoming engagement opportunities. Our next board meeting will be on Thursday, a special showing, April 2nd, 2026. Before we adjourn, please join us in celebrating our General Counsel, Nina Gupta, who is celebrating her birthday today. Keep that applause going. Board Member Hutcherson, who celebrated her birthday on February 23rd. And keep your foot on the gas for Board Member Brooks, who will celebrate his birthday on March 9th. We wish you all a very happy birthday.
I will now entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Point of discussion. Oh, okay, thank you, sorry. So I wanted to follow up about East Blast. I know we've already voted, but that was East Blast 2022 that we're funding from, not the East Blast that we're gonna vote on in 2027? Okay, because constituents were concerned, these are monies we already have. Okay, 2022. Okay, that's just easier to say. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. I will now entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So move.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Both of the Mitchells. Meeting is adjourned.